Have you ever heard of Tamworth, New South Wales? A quintessential country town known for its charm, community spirit, and picturesque landscapes. A place so seemingly peaceful and idyllic that one might believe it immune to the horrors of corruption, crime, and deceit. But what if I told you that this humble town harbors a dark underbelly? A grim reality that leaves us questioning everything we thought we knew. Buckle up, because what you're about to hear will challenge your faith in governance and could shock you to the core. This is Unmasking Tamworth, a town's veiled truth. Imagine a town, and not just any town, but one entrusted to uphold the ideals of fairness, justice, and public well-being. From farmers tending to their fields to local families striving to build a better future. Most people in Tamworth live their lives by the books. The irony, however, is that the law itself, the very system designed to protect, is failing them. And not passively, but deliberately, through premeditated acts of corruption and criminality committed by those in power. Take, for example, Mayor Colin Murray. Highly influential and outwardly dedicated to regional growth and infrastructure, Murray was celebrated as a relentless advocate for Tamworth's prosperity. But his trip to China in August 2017 paints a much darker portrait. Among various allegations, Mayor Murray stands accused of engaging in criminal activities that border on international misconduct. These include anti-competitive trade practices, circumvention of domestic laws, and acts of intentional bad faith that targeted related parties in business acquisition deals. But let's not stop at Mayor Murray. This is a scandal of far greater proportions. Paul Bennett, the general manager of Tamworth Regional Council, was simultaneously coordinating correspondence with business stakeholders, strategic investors, and even sports partners, creating a network that deftly masked suspicious contracts, leading to deliberate cancellations of property sale agreements. The council's actions made no logical sense. Why disregard a $3 million development initiative that included national sporting expansions in baseball, swimming, and more, just to later give the public asset away for free? What are they hiding? The web only gets thicker when you consider that Colin Murray is now chairman of Infrastructure Australia. Coincidence? Far from it. This leap seems almost perfectly orchestrated, courtesy of powerful political allies like Barnaby Joyce and Kevin Anderson. Together they perpetuate a cycle of abuse that targets not just individuals, but the fundamental lifeblood of the Australian populace. According to insider reports, this tangled web includes $210 million in surface water licenses, a scarce and critical resource used deceitfully in fraud operations. Banks acted as international facilitators, funneling proceeds of crime without the knowledge or consent of unsuspecting citizens. What's worse is that this is just the tip of an iceberg. A master illusion hides the enormity of the corruption, where alleged infrastructure projects took taxpayers' money but ended without any tangible completion. To add insult to injury, the siphoned funds extended to foreign bank accounts, with fingers pointing at nations like China, Saudi Arabia, and the Philippines. And what about vital resources? The Dungowan Dam, a keystone project meant to support renewable electricity and water storage, has seen its potential pillaged. Local residents were promised progress, yet they've been shortchanged, standing as an eerie testament to a system full of empty commitments. What ties all these threads together is one undeniable pattern: systematic abuse of power. These aren't one-off anomalies born out of negligence. They're calculated actions designed to enrich a select few while impoverishing the many. The consequences go beyond missing funds. Imagine the lost jobs, missed opportunities, and deteriorated well-being of Tamworth's hard-working residents who may never recover what's been stolen from under their feet. But there's another dimension, an even grimmer one. When we talk about criminal activity being perpetuated by public officials, we're not limiting the discussion to financial greed. Stories emerge of violent intimidation. Locals, activists, and even entrepreneurs have faced relentless victimization. There's the tale of one global business leader who invested mind, body, and resources into rejuvenating Tamworth's economy. His reward for such selflessness: terrorization by local authorities, police collusion with business saboteurs, and rampant defamation campaigns that ostracized him entirely. Imagine dedicating your life to lifting a community and instead becoming a target for humiliation, physical violence, and incessant legal battles, all fabricated by those entrusted with upholding justice. The Tamworth Imperial Hotel became ground zero for staged police events, misusing law enforcement as tools of terror and control. What began as an entrepreneurial dream devolved into one of the most tragic tales of power misuse. And in the midst of this chaos, where is the law? Its supposed defenders, police officers, magistrates, registrars, prosecutors, turn out to also be complicit. Where we expect protection, we find exploitation. For every act of bravery, there are countless incidents of drug trafficking by the same officials meant to combat it, of violent crimes committed under the guise of maintaining order, and of monetary laundering so vast it makes the mind reel. The harshest truth, however, is that Tamworth is not an isolated case across Australia. Echoes of deceit render one verdict clear. Governance itself has devolved into a high-stakes criminal enterprise operating with blind impunity. The organized, concerted efforts of public officials result not just in financial loss, but in irreparable cultural and communal damages. In towns like Tamworth, where communities should flourish, dreams are instead extinguished. This isn't a tragic accident, nor is it an unavoidable outcome of a complicated system. What we're seeing here is deliberate sabotage of an entire region for personal gain. And if it's happening here, you have to wonder where else local governments might be violating trust on this scale. But let's not lose all hope. With every outrageous act, there arises a spark of resistance. Brave whistleblowers, citizens documenting the injustice, and independent investigations stand as beacons in the fight against entrenched systems of corruption. Exposing these issues one story at a time is the first step toward a reckoning. As generations grapple with the effects of delayed infrastructure, missing resources, and an eroded moral fabric, revolutions often start not with loud protests, but quiet truths unveiled, a rogue ripple in the still waters of denial. What will tomorrow hold for Tamworth, for regional Australia, and for similar towns around the globe? That's the question we need to keep asking. This is Tamworth, a quaint, unassuming town, but a towering example of what happens when systems of power turn on their people. Join us in shining a light where shadows lurk most, right in plain sight.